Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Business Point on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi, and many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. On today's edition, we'll be looking at the economic prospect, and then we'll major more on forex investment and challenges on today's edition. But I would like to bring you up to speed, as always. The Central Bank of Nigeria announced a significant milestone in the country's foreign exchange market, according to recording a total inflow of 24 billion US dollars in the first quarter of 2024. This figure was revealed by CBN Governor, and it marks a sustainable increase of about 50% compared to the previous quarter dating back to 2021. The Central Bank of Nigeria's commitment to maintain a stable and predictable forex market by addressing distortions within the foreign exchange system and ensuring a steady flow of foreign capital. The CBN aims to create a more conducive environment for economic planning and investments. The 24 billion FX inflow in the first quarter of 2024 is a testament of the effectiveness of the CBN's policy and resilience of Nigeria's economy. As the country navigates through its economic challenge, the Central Bank of Nigeria's measures offer a promising path towards sustainability growth in the foreign exchange market. Looking at the angle of improving the Nigerian economy, the surge in the FX inflow is anticipated to yield several positive impacts on the Nigerian economy, including improvements in the country's balance of payments, bolstering foreign reserves, supporting the Nigerian naira to enhance affordability of imports. Despite this positive surge that we've witnessed in the forex exchange market, there are obviously investment challenges, and those are the angles now we're going to be looking at on today's edition of the program. We'll be asking key questions on how we would navigate all of these, and I'll be going on a quick break. When I come back, I'll be introducing my guest, who is actually a business expert and then the MD of Skywire Investment Service. When we come back from the break, I'll introduce him properly as we begin to x-ray all of these angles. Please do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. I just saw myself on the screen. Many thanks for staying with us. If you just joined, this is Business Point on Global Television. Now, let's talk business. There have been a series of backlogs and a whole lot of rise and fall in the forex market, but from 2024, we've been experiencing very, very good, surge, and then we are hoping that all of that will make the naira and then our foreign reserve blossom, looking at the fact that the president and this current administration is keen on revamping Nigerian economy. So joining me today live in the studio, who would help us understand everything that happens more in the forex industry, Shenkoya Oluwole, the MD Skywise Investment Services. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition.
Good morning, and good morning, Nigerians.
Yes.
It's good to be here.
I almost called your name like the Lagosians instead of going back to Ijebu, where you're likely from.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely there are lots of challenges, right? Despite the fact that we are witnessing a very, very good surge by the CBN. So what, for someone who doesn't really know what Forex is, because a lot of persons think, stock market and Forex markets are the same thing, but for just background knowledge, can you just, throw a little bit more light on what Forex is?
Okay, Forex basically is the acronym for foreign exchange, and essentially bulk of Africans' most economy, and even those even abroad, actually determine how well you're able to manage your forex position, which is whatever you're going to earn from import and to balance it with the trade that you have on ground. So Nigeria has been battling with it, and I think for fairness on the side of government, lately they've been able to stabilize it, compared with the policy that they came in with, and because if you really want to trash any issue, basically you have to go back to how the whole thing started from.
Yes.
And in Nigerian case, I think when the current government came in, they came in with certain pronouncements, which were, as at that time, they felt that it was the right thing to do and the right thing to say, but throw the market into frenzy. It's as simple as that. And the reason is because Nigeria, as at that time, or even until now, it's actually, baffling with trying to back up, the exchange balances. And that's just what you see.
Oh, okay. So now, looking at it, let's look at this angle now. What are the key factors influencing currency fluctuation, and how can investors, capitalize, you as an investor that you are?
No, what happened is that, if you look at it on the streets in Nigeria now, a lot of people seem to know much about the foreign sector in a way, because they try to do everything like dollarize the economy, which is actually what's affecting Nigeria. And I know what government is trying to do now is trying to actually let people know that if you don't need dollars, why are you going for it? So, but having said that, the reality on ground is that for economics and balance of trade, it all depends on whatever Nigeria is importing, and then exporting. It is that balances that will determine most likely your forex position. Now, that is actually supposed to be the normal. But there's certain other abnormalities going on in the economy, which is, it is not just people that are doing importation that are going for the dollars. There are other people that are losing faith in Nigerian currency. And so because of that, they basically want to hedge against the dollar by making sure they mitigate the risk over naira depreciation, and then going for the dollars. So
okay, so that's just challenges now that is being.
That's just the basic challenge.
That's not in the angle of currency fluctuations.
Yeah. The way the federal government works, the federal government is expected to give a good opportunity to populists to be able to do their business. And doing that business to attract foreign currency to come in. That is number one aspect. Now, in this case now, even the one that government is handling, they are not doing at best at it. For instance, Nigeria government is the one selling the oil and making the crude and all the rest getting. But lately, the productions have been slowed down. As in, we're not meeting up with our quotas with the OPEC. And so, unlike what it used to be, but they are trying to gel it up, and so that they can get more in the market.
Okay. Let's look at investors now. Basically, how can investors stay ahead of the market trend and predict currency movements? That is in terms of the charts
the charts and co.
Yes.
The way it is in Nigeria right now, most likely that's why you see that the force on the dollar is getting higher. And the reason is that instead of people to do their investments in naira format, they prefer to go for the dollar. For instance, there's certain dollar-denominated bonds, euro bonds that people are doing. There are some that are instead of them to save in naira, they are saving in dollars. So those are the things that are putting pressure on the dollar, on the market as it is. And so for anybody that wants to take advantage of the situation and find a way, a rhythm, to be able to negate that risk over the naira situation, what the person most likely will have to do is look at investments that are going to be in line, because it's in line with handling inflation. If you notice, because of the dollar increase, it has given us a whole lot of inflation across board.
Yes.
Food inflation, all that. So at the end of the day, any investment that is going to be done now must be done in such a way to cater for that inflation, and so that is the smart way to go. So in the sector now we have real estate, and because the reason why I mentioned real estate is because to start with, once you do investment in real estate, particularly what I mean by real estate, I'm not talking of just those people that are going to build
houses.
I'm talking of real estate investment trust schemes.
Okay.
As they call it, real estate investment trust schemes.
Okay.
They are schemes that when you invest in it, they give out the houses on renters and co.
Yes.
And anytime renters want to come up, it must come up based on inflation. So that naturally will take care of inflation for anyone. You know, then in case you want to do investment in fixed deposits and co, you must target the one like, right, if you see it now in the market, government in itself is bringing out bonds, is bringing out treasury bills at a very high rate to ensure that it takes care of inflation. Those are the things that you can hedge your money against and then be comfortable.
Yes.
And then you can do peer-to-peer. You can maybe, peer-to-peer is you have people that need funds. And you are able to be there to sponsor their deals. And in that way, you can then, you know, pitch your funding based on the inflation rate too. So anything that will take care of inflation naturally should be an investment avenue for you. And then you don't, there are also a lot of fixed deposit out there. There are also handles that gives you returns on a monthly basis too. You know, I can't finalize this, but you know, like some of the things that we do, even in Skywise, that should give you a good review of your money, a good use of your money in time, because instead of you to wait like months, get whatever is due to you 3 months, you can get it on a monthly basis and be able to sort out your immediate needs and at the same time, you know, cater for inflation.
You know, if looking at that angle of investment now, because most of the time, so I was actually going to get into that. Most of the time, the businesses and then the ROU period takes a very long time. So a lot of persons are like, maybe I want to do this, and then, but I can't really go into because the stretch. So now, that's also one of the challenges that has been, you know, faced. So how can that be, you know, be addressed?
Let me be very candid with you.
Yes.
Investment is not a one-day affair.
Okay.
Most likely, it depends on the appetite of the investor.
Okay.
Appetite as in, you want to find out, are you risk averse? You don't like much risk? Are you the type that's okay, you need to wait, you want to find out,
that means
am I a short-term person? Am I a mid-term? Am I a long-term?
Okay.
You have to very determine that. Okay. If you determine that right, naturally then you'll be able to go through the process.
Okay.
If you are the type that is you feel that you can go all the hog for long-term, there's no point going to do short-term and then you are wondering what's going on. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Now, whether we like it or not, you know the way inflation works, if the economy is well balanced, these things will likely reverse itself.
Okay.
Like what's going on now? Government has introduced Dutch auction system, unlike the free-for-all that they are doing before, which is market-driven by demand and supply. The Dutch auction system gives the economy a situation where, to start with, you will only go to bid if you need the funds. You must tell us what do you need the funds for and how much do you need. And they are starting from the highest bid, the highest prices in the market. So once eventually it gets to a point where everybody, the person that wants to make the first buy makes his own buy, that determines the price for the day. So at the end of the day, someone that just needed to do savings will not go to for that kind of bidding. That wants to just hedge his funds against dollar or for any other frivolities. So those are the things that governments do.
Okay, you mentioned there are a series of challenges, and again, I didn't even ask, what's your reaction to this current for the first quarter of the 24 billion that Nigeria made?
That's a very fantastic report. Let's face it. Like I was telling some people a couple of days back. Government is a place where you get to suddenly realize there are a lot of things that you can say while you are outside. That most likely it's not going to be the same when you get inside. So when you get inside, you have a first-hand view of what exactly is going on after a lot of review. Now, if you look at it from the trajectory of where government is coming from, presently government is doing very well at forest management than before. And they are swift to quickly undo nuances in between. In case there are any challenges, okay, what can we do immediately? And they are doing at best at it. We're only hoping that if they continue and then we get a lot of inflows, particularly from diaspora,
yes.
then we can get back at a lower terms, at lower rates.
Well, okay, looking at the lower rates, just last week, the Central Bank of Nigeria sold over $800 million for, retailers and as well as bulk sellers.
And also, and also make sure that some people could not do bidding.
Yes, talking about the bidding now, why do you think that happened?
No, it's because, when you come to the market to bid,
yes,
one, you must have your dollar, your naira already on standby your account.
Yes.
Two, what do you need the money for? We want to know. So we want to be sure that it's basically
in line with
what you're asking for. So it's not just for frivolities.
Yes.
Now, your bank that is coming also has certain things that they must meet up to be able to make that bid.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing all that, we can as well categorize you that you're not serious. You just want to basically put pressure on the market because you felt that you are losing faith in the naira.
Yeah. Well, looking at that, the main reason why the Central Bank of Nigeria had that done was because of the food importation, grains importation to be specific, that is about to, that kicked off this week. So we are hoping to see lots of grains and food to just cover out food insecurity that
that can reduce
reduce the inflation. So we are hoping to see a better outcome from that. But let's move on and then talk more about the challenges, because it's looking as if we're doing fairly well. So let's just address the challenges so we don't go back to the status quo of where the former administration was. Okay, what are the most significant risks faced by forex investors, and how can they, migrate them?
Before now, because of the demand and supply,
yes.
Just basically what government was trying to do then was that they want to ensure that the black market it's at par, almost at par with the realities of shisha rates going, and so they throw the market open. But there's no country in the world that basically we just throw its market open that way, because you must have enough to back up. To back up to defend your naira. Let me put it that way. And so in this particular time now, what government is doing is that, okay, once you are out there and you're able to let us know what exactly you need the funds for, then at a time like this now, it is easy for us to defend and then introduce more funds in the market, and then we know who we are. And then try to prioritize the sector. For instance, manufacturing sector, we need more. So that they can do manufacturing and at a maybe reduced rate, and at the end of the day be able to produce and then even get enough to export.
Yes.
The same thing. So those are the areas that they are coming in, and so the non-essential items are let off the hook.
Okay. Before we close up or wrap up today's edition of the program, let's look at the geopolitical tension and global events affecting forex.
Okay.
Yes, globally now, oil, like you rightly mentioned, Nigeria is not meeting up due to oil, OPEC and oil, and we are facing lots of queues. So how do the geopolitical tension now affect the market?
Because we are not existing on our own, whether we like it or not, it always dance to the tune of international markets.
Okay.
And so if you hear one news that is not good enough in Russia, or maybe somebody is taking over some part of Russia, automatically, I know Ukraine is major food supply to most of Africans.
Yes.
And so any small shift in their convenience will definitely affect the rest of the world. And so for every other person, that's why Nigeria is trying to take his speech now. I'm encouraged that in the Niger Delta there is enough peace for them to meet their quotas and take advantage of the earnings from the oil money, and which is wonderful.
Okay. Okay. Now looking at this final angle now, and what would it be your advice for some persons that are sitting now and then watching and willing to get into forex investment?
Let me tell you,
what's the first knowledge they need to have?
Let me tell you categorically.
Yes.
You must determine that your forex knowledge essentially is beyond the speculatory. The speculators are those people that go online and tell me, okay, we want to do forex trading all the time. It's fine. But the reality is it's easily going to burn your hands because we have certain instabilities going on. And I remember there was some time, I think last year, that the dollar went so high at the time and then went down sharply.
Yes.
and a lot of losses. If you look at what is going on currently in the US now, they themselves are having all their markets, stock markets, financial markets going down. Even the crypto is not exempted.
Yes.
That's to tell you that these markets respond at a time, not necessarily to the news of war, but it has its own self-regulatory system where some people will just get into the market and feel like we feel that this is overpriced or overrated.
We just pull out their money.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now, if you want to do investment in dollars, these are markets that is not under your control most of the time. So whatever funds you are going to put in must be essentially the ones that you know can stand over the test of time. So that at the end of the day, you don't just look for immediate gains.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oluwole, for joining us on today's edition of the program. And then that's how much time will permit us to take. Just to let you know that the 5 major currencies that have been traded in the Forex market is the dollar, euros, pound sterling, Swiss francs, and then I think Australian dollar. So those are I think the major currencies that are being traded. Also, they also have other aspects of things that are also traded, maybe stock, gold, and all of that. So that's how much time will permit us to take. Mr. Oluwole, thank you so much. MD Skywise Investment Services, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and that's how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of the program. I'll see you tomorrow as we talk more business. Bye for now.